Jenny, thank you so much for being here today.
So my pleasure. Happy to see you, Kelly.
You too. You too. So, as I told everybody earlier, you're Jenny, and you are one of the amazing alumni in the group, and I appreciate you so much for being here. And when we were talking prior to starting to record, you mentioned something about like some of the things that have changed for you since doing the program. And could you talk a little bit more about that?
I definitely can. And it's funny that you just said I'm kind of one of the alumni, because that is really what it feels like. I think that one of the things that has come out of this is having a pretty amazing sense of community. And all of us in this program surely had a sense of community before that, whether it's, regular friendship, work friendship, whatever it is. But this is a sense of community from people who are incredibly like-minded about health and fitness and our longevity goals. And we have the opportunity to work on it together and to talk about it together just through some real life experience. And it's been amazing.
Yeah, it's, I find it's kind of like, it's like having those friends that are not the friends who just want to go out for dinner and drink. It's like having friends who have ideas of things they want to go do and like excitement, and it's fun. It's fun to have that community where people are, you used it, like-minded and looking forward to a better future.
Definitely looking forward to a better future. And when I talk about I talk about longevity, people really are looking at the fact that this is a marathon and it's not a sprint. And we are really going day by day, understanding that little bits day by day are going to mean a healthier lifestyle down the road, or healthier life in general down the road. And that's key. And that is something that you've really taught me. I think before I thought more about, I'm exercising because I want to make sure my clothes fit, and I'm exercising because I just want to be healthy at the moment. But I wasn't looking so much into my much later years. And now I'm feeling confident that I will be able to get there, working with this like-minded group. And the other thing I'll say about the group is that it struck me when you talked about a group of friends that you just, you go out to dinner with, or you go for drinks with, or something like that. Usually when you're doing that, you're just catching up on kind of day-to-day other friends that and what they're up to, or what your kids are up to, or your family's up to. This group really talks about goals. And that is great. We don't spend enough time in general thinking about our goals and talking about our goals, but this group makes us stop. We have got focused time together to really be able to talk about them. And they all get out there, everybody knows what the goals are, and then we can chip away at them. And that has been really amazing.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's always such a good group. It's always such a good group. And I guess when you've got people that you're not chit-chatting with, you're life planning with, or you're health planning with, or you're fitness planning with, it shifts everything. Like it completely makes it different.
It most definitely does. You get to know people on a much, much deeper and frankly a better level, because you've got it's a focused relationship. And even though we're meeting with a common goal in mind, we're also finding other things about ourselves, or other things about that then help you learn things about yourself at the same time.
Yeah. And you said something earlier when we were chit-chatting earlier that that taking care of yourself, your health, your fitness, your wellness, your mental well-being, all that stuff, it's not, what'd you say? It wasn't selfish, it's self-care. Is that how you put it?
I said it's so many women, I think, spend a lot of their lives in a role caring for other people. And they care for their families and their kids and all their needs. And I know I ended up taking care of one of my parents, and you spend a lot of time taking care of other people. And I think at the same time, you forget about taking care of yourself because you're on autopilot. And then at some point, I know certainly I had a shift. I, met you and started in this program, and it ends up that then you have me time and you're focused on yourself. And I think that it's hard at times to think that spending time on yourself is not selfish, because I think that that word is used a lot and it has a very negative connotation. So I've tried to turn that word around, that it's not selfish, it's self-love. And that is okay, because I want to be here and I want to be the healthiest and strongest version of me. And really, when I'm the healthiest and strongest version of me, showing up for the people that I love, who I also want to care for at the same time, I mean, frankly, that's a gift. It's a gift to me. It's a gift to them. And I just think it makes everything work better. But I've really tried to nix the word selfish, because none of this is selfish. Self-love and self-care is not selfish.
It's not. It's not. And when you prioritize yourself, you actually just said it. Like when you make your health and wellness a priority, then you're giving your family and your friends a gift, because we're going to be here. I mean, bar something strange, we're going to be here for a long time.
Yep.
Medicine is going to keep us here for a long time. And how we choose to be here in our health is up to us. And so, I mean,
I saw a T-shirt the other day, and it made me think of you, Kelly. And it only had 6 words in big block letters on the front. It said, "Be you, do you, for you."
oh, wow.
And I was like, you know what? That's really great, because I think we're at a point in our lives where we're like, yes, I'm absolutely going to be me, and I'm going to do my life for me. It doesn't mean that I don't love other people and care for other people and care for my career and everything else, but I'm going to take care of me. And at the same time, like we said, taking care of ourselves for other people. So be you, do you, for you is Kelly.
I love it. Thank you. So, okay. I mean, I know a lot of the things that have changed for you over the you've been in the program for almost a year now. And so can you reflect on maybe a couple of those things that have changed for the better for you?
Yes. Well, we definitely talked about having a sense of community. That is one of the first things I think of with like-minded people. I am for sure more fit. There's no question about the fact that I'm more fit. I've got coaching, and I've got accountability and fun. It's much more fun when you're with like-minded people who are also kind of going through it together. I know where to turn now. I know that if I hit a blip somehow, I can come back to you. I can come back to people in the group. But in general, I think all of the pieces of how am I going to make this all work? And I know I want to, for example, one of the vision board is I want to go climb a mountain. How am I going to put all those pieces together to actually be able to get there? And now it's all in focus. I know the steps, and if I'm missing something, I know where to go. And I think that's been a really great part of Fit as Freedom.
Ah, nice. And actually you just touched on something, and I never talk to people about this, but it's the whole adventure training, right? Like, I mean, that's actually what we've been doing for the last 3 months, which was the adventure training for, I know the people on the podcast probably heard me speak about this earlier, is that some of the alumni got to go on a trip, and it was not an easy trip. We did hard things.
We did do hard things, and really, talk about something I got out of it. I got some amazing real life, real world experience, because we did do this adventure training. And one of the things that, so before we had our great adventure trip, I took a trip to Yosemite, and I went on this trip completely blindly. I just signed up for this group, didn't know who would be there. Ends up there were 9 of us. I was the oldest by at least 30 years. And I got to this group and saw these great big mountains and thought, oh boy, oh boy, I'm a lot older than these people. how's this all going to work out? And let me tell you, I kept up, and I was really proud of myself. And I knew that it was because I've had this, this great group of people. We've all had something in mind. We didn't have Yosemite in mind, but that was kind of my test trip for me. And at the beginning of the trip, the youngsters were saying, "Oh, ma'am, can we carry your backpack?" And at the end of the trip, I was like, "Hey, can I carry your backpack?" So it was great. So really, adventure training is such a it's a great, it's not, I hate to use the word spin, but it's a great spin on what we're doing. It's it's really a great description. Because we train for something and then we have the adventure, and that means that you get real world experience, it was just so much fun.
That is, and I guess there's two things about that. One of them is that I have in all my years noticed that when we train and we're consistent about it, we're a whole lot stronger than younger people. Like should I say that out loud? I'm going to say that out loud. Like, I mean, I just see it all across the board. And it's interesting because, you look around and you're on a trip and they're way younger than you. But the truth is that you're so strong because you've got not just life experience, but you've got training under your belt and you know what you're doing. Like, and you have confidence. There's a lot to be said for getting that confidence that happens.
That's true. That's a very good point. And I think as a group, we became more confident together. And I think I saw that more than ever actually when we went on our adventure, because there were a lot of questions ahead of time about, will I be able to do it? And how long are we going? And, all of us wondered, do we have the right gear? You prepared us so well for all the gear as well. And then when we got there to kind of see all these layers fall off of people of worry that they wouldn't be able to do it, because everybody was doing it and feeling confident that they could get up the next day and do it again. And that was very fun to see everybody kind of morph into a more confident group just by doing.
And it's so true. It's interesting. I have a new client who just came to me, and she's doing a trip. I don't know. I should know this off the top of my head. In a few months, let's call it 8 months.
Okay.
And this trip is a trip that allows for either just sitting on your butt on the bus and looking out the windows at everything that goes by, or for the people who are up for it, they're going to go do some hikes. They're going to go do some special tours. They're going to do some, all kinds of different things. But she'd already written it off. And I'm like, no way. Not on my watch.
No way.
You're going to be doing all that stuff. And she's like, I don't think I can. And I'm like, of course you can. Like, of course we can. Like, with a little bit of confidence and a little bit of training, like, we can do things.
If you could take us and get us doing all these crazy hikes in just a few months, in 8 months, she'll be
running up Everest. I know. She really will be.
Right. That's very cool. Yes. That's actually a great, no more sitting on the bus. I mean, I feel like that should be, maybe a big, bold banner, above your business. No more sitting on the bus.
Right. Don't even think about the bus.
Even better, don't even think about the bus, because there's just so much in it for you, and just so much self-growth when you're actually doing instead of sitting.
Yeah, it's funny. I think that going back to what you said about women taking care of everybody, right? Mm-hmm. We take care of everybody, and then you get to this point in life, whatever that age is, or whatever that point is, and all of a sudden you may want to do things, but you don't have that foundation, that fitness foundation, because you've been taking care of everybody. But it comes so quick. Our bodies are so amazing. And we bounce back like nobody's business if we're willing to do the work. And the work isn't even hard. It's not going to the CrossFit gym every day. It's just the stuff.
It's really little by little. And I think that that's one of the things that makes people not start. Like, what keeps them on the fence? Oh, am I going to be able to do this? Is it way too hard? And, if anybody's on the fence, I say, hop off. It just, seriously, hop off, because I have a sign, and I know it's very cliche, but I have a little sign in my office that says life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And it so truly begins at the end of your comfort zone. You just have to start someplace, and you get what you have the courage to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. And it's different for everybody, you know? I mean, it is different for everybody. There's people who didn't join us on the trip because for whatever reason, but they still have done some amazing things. They've done some super hard things this summer. They've done things they never thought they would do, like ever in their lifetime. And they're like texting me and calling me and going, hey, what's next?
yeah.
What's
Look,
next?
that's really all a matter of confidence, and confidence only comes when you start doing things that lead you toward the ability to do more. So yeah, sky's the limit for sure.
Yeah, it is. And I know, like, I mean, you are one of the people that, gets out there and does it. And every time just does better and better and better, which is so amazing to me. So
And it's because it feels better and better and better. Like every time.
Nice.
It's not just that it feels physically better and better every time. It's mentally better and better, because when your body is stronger, your mind is stronger.
That's true. That's true. And when it's fun, then it's just easier to do.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, and we had a lot of fun. We really, through the whole thing, we've had a lot of fun. I think we spent a lot. If we could go back and just record the number of times that we have laughed through the whole thing, I think that there's a whole lot.
Oh, good point. Like, laughter is like, it is one of the things that I put on my list this year that I wanted more of. And this group has definitely given me more of it.
Excellent. Excellent.
Good laughter. Good laughter.
You're not laughing at people, Kelly. We know that.
No, I'm not laughing at anyone. Except maybe, I don't know. I can think of something, but I'm not saying it on the podcast. It's something I said.
Far from it.
Oh, well, I was going to ask you, like, if one of your friends was thinking about this, and I think you said it, you'd say, just get off the fence. But anything else you'd say? Because sometimes people are like, I don't even know what this is. What is this? And I'm like, well, we're talking about wellness and fitness. Mm-hmm. And we're not talking about going to the gym every week or every day or, twice a week. We're talking about doing what works for you. And it is true that everyone in the group has a different schedule of what they're doing movement wise. I don't even want to call it exercise, movement wise. And I've seen that movement increase for everybody, over whatever period of time they've been. But like, how would you describe this? How would you describe this to a friend?
Oh, let's see. I think the best way for me to describe it is trying to figure out how to put an idea into action. And when I talk about everything for me came into focus, it was like, well, I know I want to do this, and I know I want to do this, and I know I've got some goals here, but what am I going to do to get there? So taking all those ideas, funneling it through this program, having it spit out as during the program as action, but beyond as more of your goal, reaching your goals. It's been amazing. So if you've got a kind of a jumble of ideas of what you want to do to improve your health and fitness and just need a direction, this is a great program.
I like that, because the truth is that all of us have a general idea of what we need to do. Maybe we need to eat better. Maybe we need to, get a little stronger or more flexible or whatever. We all, like, innately, we know something. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of fine tuning. And a lot of times it takes getting rid of the idea that there's only one way. Like, that's a great
point. Definitely you show us all the time that there's not just one way.
No.
And figuring out how to take all those swirls and putting it into a channel to have some real results on the other side.
Yeah. And everybody's so different. Yeah. It is so true that we're all so different, and figuring out what works for each of us is pretty simple, actually, if we just allow it to happen and don't follow the latest fad, right? Like, you don't have to just eat whatever's the latest fad right now, keto or paleo or whatever. You don't have to do just that. You don't have to do just this, this, and this, and this. It's so interesting that that innately we know, like, it comes back to what we said earlier. Bodies are smart. Bodies
Yes.
are really smart.
And it, saying kind of the same thing I talked about in that t-shirt, be you, do you, for you. It's about you and what is going to take you to your best potential, not what's going to take your next door neighbor to their best potential. And you have a great ability, even in a group setting, to be able to tailor things to people's individual needs so they can do themselves for themselves.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for being here. Before I sign off, is there anything else you'd like to say?
I don't think so. I would just say overall, the big giant umbrella has just been amazing. And I'm thankful to you and thankful to all the other people that have been taking this journey together. I think that we've shown each other a lot of love and a lot of grace and a lot of fun. And I would do it again in a minute, and we'll continue to be part of this because there's not an end point to health and fitness, and there's not an end point to this community. You just keep going and you just keep getting better. And I think all of us have that same mindset now, and we're just going to keep going and doing it with you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Always happy to talk to you.
Thanks.